Hey guys, so I'm gonna do a little video here about packing pipes. A lot of people, like beginners, they have difficulty packing their tobacco and keeping the tobacco lit and that kind of stuff. And then a lot of people have questions. I know there are a million videos on YouTube about this topic, and I'm just bored. Having some dad time here. Kiddo's asleep, so here I am hanging out in the garage. Not a very picturesque background, but you know, I'm not a professional videographer or content creator, so. Yum. So, hanging out in the garage. I have a sweater on. It's not cold. I'm in California. It's like 90 degrees outside, even though it's almost midnight. But this is kind of like my cheap smoking jacket because, I mean, even though pipe tobacco smells good, like the room note, it's just, you know, the smell of tobacco on your clothing, it's not very appealing, especially because I have to feed the little one later on tonight. And I don't want tobacco smoke to rub off on her onesie, you know. Drinking some seltzer, hard seltzer, because I'm old and fat now, and beer just makes me bloated. I don't like it. I don't like it anymore. So for the sake of information, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I don't have fancy video editing software. I'm not a content creator. I'm just bored, like I said. So I'm going to do it in one take, but just to show you what I got this here is a Savanelli 404 Punto Oro gold point Zulu shape. So that's what I'll be smoking out of. This is a estate pipe. I just got it last week. I haven't smoked out of it yet, but it is used. New to me though. And then this one is like, I haven't tried this tobacco yet, but it's been hyped up a lot. It's a limited batch from Cornell and Deal, small batch. Sunbear Black Locust. So that is a Virginia with some Oriental, I think. And it's what do I say? It's topped with some honey from the Black Locust. What did they say? The 2020 Black Locust pollination in Maryland. So it says, which is a variety of honey prized for its small yields, extremely light color, and delicate sweetness. So this one is it comes in a tin, but I put it in a mason jar so it will keep it preserved. I got the date on the bottom when I jarred it. So this is slices. So you just take a little bit. And so like a bowl's worth, not a lot. I mean, and then you just kind of, it's hard to see, it's a weird angle because I'm using the front facing camera on my phone, so just enough for a bowl. And I'll show you here in a sec, but what I'm doing is just breaking it up a little bit so that so I can, give it a little bit of volume. I'll be able to fill the bowl pretty well. I'll show you in a sec here. So, because it comes in flake form, so it's pressed. So, they call this rubbing it out. I know it sounds a little dirty, but. So, I'm just gonna here. Pardon the mess. This is my little workbench. This is where I tinker and like restore or clean up. Not really restore. I'm not like, I just clean up pipes out here, shaving brushes, that kind of stuff. So they say, so I've learned from George Bruno. He has a YouTube page. Offers inspirational quotes or advice, and is also a YouTube piper. But he says, pack like a child, then like a woman, and then like a man. So that's my dog being a shithead. Nixon, shut up. Just kidding. Just kidding. Poor butthead. Had to let my dog in. He's jealous. So you're not gonna pack it firmly. You're just gonna sprinkle a little bit in there. So just sprinkle some. Don't press it in firmly. Just let it sit there so you got a little, like a loose pack. And then put a little bit more in. And then just kind of, you know, tamp it down a little bit. Just a little bit. And we're gonna get a little bit more. I could probably put more in this pipe. I didn't really get a whole lot as far as tobacco goes. It's not gonna be like a super firm pack, which you don't want to be too firm anyway. And then we're gonna top it off so it's kind of overflowing, and then we're just gonna push it down a little bit. Push it down a little bit. So this isn't like a super tight full pack. I didn't grab a lot of tobacco. You can probably add more. So what you can do is like overfill it just a tiny bit, and then just like push it down. So I'm not even pushing it down that hard. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit more. I need to rub out some more because I don't have a lot in here. Let me get a little bit more out of here than this jar. So a little tiny bit. Got an awkward angle, but I rub that out. And then I'll top off the bowl. So just a tiny bit more. You know what? I need even more. I need more. I'm underestimating how much I can fit in this bowl. It's my first time using this pipe, so I mean, I'm figuring out how much tobacco it can hold. It holds a lot more than I expected. So anyway, now I'm gonna put more. And then this is when you kind of like pack it down a little bit, but not too hard. You don't want to like compact it. It's not like you're like tamping down soil or packing soil. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a good metaphor, I guess, or simile, whatever the hell. Just real light, because then if you pack the tobacco too tightly, you're not going to get enough airflow. You won't be able to draw any up. So we'll give it so once it's kind of, see it's, you know, right below the rim, then I'm gonna puff a little bit. Good airflow, it's not packed too tightly. So we can draw air through it. So a lot of people also wonder what you can use on the stem to protect the stem, and also it's a little more comfortable to clench with. But I use electrician's heat shrink tubing. You can buy this stuff at like just Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever in the electrical aisle. Cheap, comfortable, really thin, low profile. I don't like the big softy bits because like I feel like I'm chewing on like a ball of rubber, so don't like it. I like these a lot. So I'm using just a cheap like it's kind of like it's like a modern cheap version of like an old lift arm, like a vintage lift arm butane lighter. I forget the brand on this one. It's not a high-end brand. These get really expensive. This one was like $35, $40. So anyway, so soft flame. So go ahead and light, puff. So let that go. You can see it's not lit all the way through yet, so which is okay. So what you do, I call it like the charring light. So now, sorry, awkward angle. not important, but anyway, tamper. This is called a check tool. So you got your scoop, you got your little pick here, and then you got your actual tamper. So what I'm gonna do, tamp that down just so it's flat. You can probably hear the buzz from my fluorescent light overhead. That's kind of annoying, but anyway, so now you can see nice and flat, right? And then we'll relight. So this is like our true light, some people call it. So relight. Nice. Very nice. So this pipe was recently like touched up with some carnauba wax, so some of it kind of melted on the rim. I'll clean that up. Oh yeah, gotta get all covered up. That's it. Keep going. You got the little cherry there. And just keep tamping as you go. I'm probably gonna have to do a relight on this. This tobacco is pretty moist. Sometimes if tobacco is too moist, it's not gonna stay lit very well. And they benefit from a little bit of like air drying. So this might be one of those where I'm gonna have to maybe lay it down on a paper towel and let it dry out for a good half hour or so before I smoke it. I might do that next time because I can see it's already having a little bit of trouble staying lit. So I'm gonna relight it. So I tamped it down. I'm gonna relight it now. That's it. This stuff might need a little bit of age. I think it needs to mature a bit. So, this is one of my favorite shapes actually, because it just has that slight curve. The bowl has like a slight forward cant, so it's just really comfortable to clench and looks good, feels good. Love it. So as you go, just keep tamping it. Some people like to ash their pipes, not really necessary. All you do is, as it burns, just tamp it down a little bit, gently. Keep the cherry going, so it burns all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. I mean, your pipe will go out if you don't puff on it, like say, like me, if you're talking too much. Or if you're like having a conversation, like if you're sitting down in a lounge, you know, talking to your friend, not puffing. You know, if that ever happens, all you gotta do is just stove it, they call it. So just put your fingers over the top and kind of cut off the air and just puff really hard. And you'll stoke it right back up, almost like bellows in a forge. You know, kind of similar concept. It really like forces the air through, like when you cover the top. So, that's it. I mean, not much to it. It takes a little bit of practice, but the key thing is don't literally pack the tobacco in, because that's when you constrict the airflow. So if you don't get enough airflow through, you're not going to be able to keep the ember stoked, and then it's going to go out. So you need to be able to draw air through to keep the tobacco oxygenated and keep it burning. So yeah, not affiliated and not a sponsor, but this is my jam. Truly fruit punch, delish. Trying to watch the calories and carbs. This does it for me, and it's really nice to have something to drink when you're smoking too, to kind of cool your palate off, because sometimes tobacco can be a little harsh on your tongue, especially when you're smoking an aromatic. that causes some tongue bite. Tongue bite is when pretty much there's steam in the smoke. There's like a lot of humidity in the tobacco and it burns your tongue. That is for another video though. So that's a whole other video. I'm sure there's lots of info about that stuff too, so I won't get into it now. And sometimes you can get a little gurgle. Some saliva will accumulate, like in the bowl. I don't know if you heard it. Let me see. I could hear a little bit of saliva in there. All you gotta do, I don't have one handy, but I have a stack of them. But just take a pipe cleaner and just run it through real quick through the stem, and it'll just soak up whatever moisture's in there, and you're good. Back to smoking. Easy. It's so easy. I'm a bad influence. I started smoking pipe a few years ago, and all my friends, they're curious and they wanted to try it too. And yeah, so now they're not really, I can't say they're hooked. Like they're not. It's not an addiction. It's more like a social thing now. So whenever we hang out, I bring all my stuff anyway. When I'm out of the house and drinking away from the kid and the wife, you know, it's dad time. Smoke away, man. And then all my friends want to join. They always want to smoke them what I got. For me, it's a hobby. For them, it's like a casual thing. So I got all the good stuff. Yeah, so there we go. Starting to go out, so I'm gonna stoke it. There we go. That's that. I mean, got any questions? It's like the first video I've ever made. This might be a thing. Be YouTube famous one day? Probably not. That's stupid. Well, yeah, complaints, questions, whatever. Leave them down below. And thanks for watching.